So let's do a little roundup here with Pips Wizard Pro and just see what kind of trades have been setting up in the last month or so since the last video I did back on the 11th of May, I believe. So this is the US dollar Japanese yen. It is a daily chart, and you can see the setup is right here. This is on May 15th. And according to Pips Wizard Pro, you can either enter at the closing price, or you can, in this example, sell stop the low. So you would not get into this trade until a few days after. And as you can see, it before we get this blue showing up, about 291 pips, 300 pips. And if you're trading structure, so you're using actual structure in the market, you may look down to here. You may be looking at here for your profits. And obviously, if price is getting close to it and does something like this, which looks like an exhaustion, as you see it closed up in here somewhere, you could get out that way, depending how you're trading it. So if you were to trade it from here, you're not going to get the lows. But let's just so you can see the potentials here. 434 pips. And then we reverse to a long setup on June 15th. So if you enter on a stop order, in this example, will be a buy stop, take a little bit of heat, and now you're up 212 pips on this trade here. So that's actually pretty good. Be two winning trades in a row here. This is the US dollar and the euro, so the euro USD. And it never hurts in any strategy you're using to watch price action. So we have a swing high, a lower swing, a higher swing low, actually kind of forming a double top here, right? So as soon as you see that kind of price action, you may say, I'm going to wait until something else happens, until we get a breakout. Because what is a trending structure is higher highs and higher lows. Double top is not a higher high. So in this area here, we're getting an issue with our uptrend. Okay, so you can consider this to be a range, but also understand that we are coming in after an uptrend. All right, that's what we're in, an uptrend. So on the breakouts of these, you would want to get involved in a long trade, right? Because you're looking for an upside break. So in this example here, what you could do, and this is like a little tip, is we've got our resistance level here. We're going to put in a potential support. I always call them potential because you never know if they're actually going to hold or not. Obviously here, it's no longer resistance, right? Now it's pulling back on this chart right here. So anyways, what you can do in these kind of things, especially when you're coming in at the bottom of these ranges, is look for these setups to go long. So for example, we get a long setup here. You buy stop the high on that if you like. And by doing that, it's 237 pips. You don't want to, when you're in a range, you certainly don't want to buy in on a up in this area here unless there is some consolidation happening. And then if this is the resistance level, and then there's sort of a, I like to call this a ledge. So you see this basing here right before resistance. If there's a pop down in price and it immediately buys back up, and then you get one of these, a buy setup, you could enter before the breakouts. I never enter on breakouts generally, depending. And also when you're looking at these, if we are in an uptrend, right? And then we have supports building in through here, right? 1, 2, 3. Basing in these levels, looking for an upside break is my higher probability play. Yes, you can trade breakouts to the downside, but then you're not really using Pips Wizard, right? Why not use the what Pips Wizard offers, which is your exact setups, and in the PDF that comes with it, you're going to learn where to put your stops. You're going to learn where to take your profit. Now this is the Euro Japanese yen. Now we just covered the euro, right? So we already know there's some euro strength going on. Right? Let me bring this down a little bit. And we just came off of this really nice long trade. And if you are taking the exits when the opposing signal sets up, right, you're looking at, 560 pips since April. Not bad. You can't argue with those. And then you get this down move. Well, again, look at price action. I'm not saying you can't trade them. You can, but keep in mind the overall trend of the market. Taking these are not a bad thing. If you look at this, and price was to break lower, pull back, and then I get a short setup, I'd be more interested in taking that. But when I'm in a range here and the move into the range was from the downside to the upside, I would be looking for long trades only, and we get it right here. And it was actually at the bottom of the range that's formed here. So you got the ranges, you got a higher high, right? This low takes out this area right here. Barely, but it does, right? So in seeing that, and this is actually not, these are actually good trades. When you get a longer basing period, these are called springs, and you can buy stop the highs of these, but that's a whole different technical trading approach. Anyways, where was I? Yeah, so we took out this. So we've got the higher high. We've put in a lower low. That is not conducive to an uptrend, right? And then we put in pretty much a double top, and then we put in a higher low. So is this a tradable move? Well, look at the pattern it's forming, right? So again, once you start seeing the breakdown of the overall trend, draw your lines, look for setups like this in the direction of the main trend, and take the trades. This trade actually rallied up so far to 480 pips. Where are you going to get that, right? These are no-brainer trades. Take one more look at a pair here. This is the pound against the Japanese yen. This is a beast sometimes to trade. So what do we have here? We've got the overall uptrend. Now look, let's take a look here. Let's just do some basic technical analysis. It can't go off the chart too much over here. Let me try. There we go. So I go too far off the screen, I can't draw anything. Oops, that's not what I'm looking for. All right. So what do we have here? All right. We got our downtrend line smashed through right here. And then we have basing at the break of these. That's bullish. All right. So this is a huge trade, right? So again, you can buy stop the high of these. Buy stop the high because look, we did break down the downtrend line, right? And now we're going to an uptrend. This peak to peak is 820 pips roughly on the pound yen. You're going to have to sit through multiple days. But that's trading, right? If you want to be a longer term trader, this is where the money is made with less time in front of the computer. That's why Pips Wizard Pro is actually pretty amazing for that. Put our high, low, lower high. What does that tell you? We could start getting into what? A downtrend, right? Once it breaks this low, we are now putting in a lower low. And look where our setup is. It's right here on this candle right here. Well, you still want to make sure that you take into consideration, regardless of what you're trading, structure. So the break of this makes a lower low, right? So your trade would be just below this little pullback pivot right here. And what do we get? If I just go peak to peak, okay? Well, peak to the end here. This is 690 pips, right? Depending on how you're trading these. Depending on what you're using for profit targets. Right, these actually make pretty good profit targets. Get these big moves up, consolidations, and then another move up. Targeting these, never a bad idea. And if you look, if I just can draw a line straight across, more or less, you'll see that price came pretty much right down to the tight consolidation at the top of this candle. Okay, and then we're going to turn around with momentum again, just using standard technical analysis, right? Breaks up, there's our pullback, right? So let's say you go, oh, I don't really want to take this trade. It didn't really break above that, right? But if you look at the size of this candle, you'd be kind of, there you go. So if we buy stop this high, it pulls back. You took some heat, right? Could you have withstood it? Well, that's for you to decide and how you're going to trade, right? We've put in an uptrend. It didn't break this trend line, so maybe you sat inside of it. Or maybe you said to yourself as part of your rules, okay, well, it kind of broke it. Let me get a pullback. And then if this trade is still active, I will just mark it in as long as it's still active. Mark it in. All right. But let's just say, you know what, for conservative sake, you took this, you suffered through the drawdown. Well, right now you're up 478 pips. Okay. So again, understanding just basic of the basic technical analysis, Pips Wizard Pro is a great strategy. It's nice. It's simple. You know, and these are the charts you can use. You can use the 15-minute, the minute 30, the hourly, the 4-hour, and the daily. All right, so a little bit of everything, right? Day trading, swing trading, and depending on the move, it could be a position, right? Anyways, thanks for watching.